Now we're going to work on the intermediate level exercises. You've already been through the basics. You pretty much have an idea of how the bands are going to work and the muscle areas that we've already toned because of the drills I've shown you before. Now we're going to the intermediate level. All we're going to do is step behind side leg raises. Before we did the forward leg raises, now we're going to do just a basic middle stance, horse riding stance, step behind and swing it heel in the air up. Now remember, you're going to have tension pulling that leg down, so be careful and make sure you're prepared for it. Otherwise it's going to pull you back and you're not going to be ready for it. So make sure you do about 10 to 15 sets each leg. Make sure you're nice and warm before we start anything else. And always look as though you were doing the kick. Good. Now what we're going to go into is our squats. Squat front kick. Getting the quad as well as the hamstring to work. Just get this step forward. Good squat. Knee touch. Snap the kick. Step forward. Knee touch. Snap the kick. You go backwards. Working completely different muscles. You're going to use the calf now to push off before you execute. I do 2 forward, 2 back. I do about 10 sets. Get a nice good warm up for everything that I need to be conditioning. Hips, quads, hip flexors, and of course core. From there, most people think that all of our kicks always have to be done from standing position, and they don't. We have to know the position and the starting point before we have good balance. So what we're going to do now is we're going to lay on our side. We're just going to relax. The first thing I'm going to do is basically just a side leg raise now from the ground, and you're going to feel the hip flexor working very hard now because there's no swinging action. There's no momentum. It's all muscle working against 2 bands pulling me back down to the ground. Do about 15 sets. Switch sides. 15 on the other side. And you will have a side that's not quite as strong. That's why we work twice as hard. Once you've done that, really warmed up the hip flexor now. Now I want to see you start, just like we did on the basic video, chamber, extend. Chamber, extend. This, on the ground, helps me to keep my position correct, as opposed to trying to stand on one foot or hold on to a rail. Okay, now what we're going to go into is we've warmed up, we've gotten all the muscles ready and prepared to do the exercises. So now we're going to the next level. You guys, I'm sure, train like this all the time in your gyms. Three different levels of attack, 3 different levels that we're going to execute. Again, you can do it fast, slow, or medium. It doesn't matter. Me, I like to go a little bit slower, keep the tension on my legs at all times. I'm just going to go low, middle, high, taking my time, good body posture. And as you will see, I've got resistance now. It's not just my muscles trying to keep up with what I'm doing. It's also the resistance of the bands pulling on all the key areas to make these kicks work. Whether it be the round kick, the side kick. Doesn't matter, it's going to help you. You can go backwards. I like going backwards also because you want to give up and let the bands pull you down, but you don't want to do that. You want to keep the resistance on the bands so that the hip flexor, the core, and the groin is working at all times. So I don't want to go kick, fall, kick, fall. The bands aren't going to do me any good then. They're just helping me be lazy. You want to hold the resistance. Keep that integrity of what you're doing and make yourself work. Now what we're going to go into is we did some stagnant drills. Now we're actually going to do kicking combinations as though we were sparring. We all know that it's follow-up and continuous motion that win a sparring match. So what you're going to do now is just set up your targets, have someone hold their hands. But again, the bands are used so that you can train by yourself. I set up my pads and I'm going to go 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you see, I have full range of motion with the bands on. There's no reason for me to have anyone pulling on me. I have resistance on the front as well as the back, and I can do any kick, front kick, round kick, side kick, hook kick, twist kick. No interference. Jump kick. Anything I need to do, I can do, and these are not going to restrain me in any way, shape, or form. Be careful. Make sure you use the appropriate strength of bands for your exercise and weight.